Come on in. Welcome to the Love Walk Approach. Welcome to the Love Walk Approach. I am Dr. Shalonda Treasure, also known as the Inspirational Treasure, Apostle Shalonda, Prophet Shalonda, Coach Treasure, whatever treasure you're looking for. We are here in this building and we're ready to have this conversation for today. Come on in and do share. Come on in and do share. Make sure you say hello so I'll know that you're in the building, our virtual stage. Sound off, Christian. You're in the building. You gotta say. That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Destiny, for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Come on in. We are on part 2 of Love Does as Love Is. Love does as love is. Last week, we kind of talked a little bit about what love is. And I know it seems backwards, but there's a method, all right? We talked about what love is. So today, we can talk about what love does. And then next week, we'll pick it up in a different way. But come on in. Love does as love is. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Love does as love is. Come on in, come on in, come on in and do share. Come on in, come on in, come on in and do share. And do share. And do share. Come on in. Come on in. Oop, I did not mean to do that, y'all. Take away the music. We live. While we wait for others to join us, let me go ahead and say that I have something new that I want to present. And I think I spoke about it on Thursday's call. But we are introducing just a little something. It's not anything too major, but I want to introduce what we call the Love Walk Call to Action. The Love Walk Call to Action. The Love Walk Call to Action. What is the Love Walk Call to Action? What is the Love Walk Call to Action? Let's talk about it. Come on in, y'all. Come on in and do share. Come on in and do share. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I'm about to talk a little bit about this Love Walk Call to Action, and the one we're going to focus on for this entire month. Come on in and do share. Make sure you say hello when you come in the building so we'll know and I can acknowledge you. So we're introducing what I call the Love Walk Call to Action. This is missing the 2, but y'all know what I mean. The Love Walk Call to Action. And this month we're going to focus on choosing our cause to support. Choosing our cause to support. All right. What does that look like, Apostle? Well, let me say first and foremost, Love Walk Outreach Global is not here to take the place of another religious action that you're not using or applying to your life. Many of us have gone through the years. We learned certain things. We learned the order of service and the protocol for individual institutions. You know, we learn how to act in school. We learn how to act at home. We learn how to act at church. Everybody had different protocols. But love's protocols are the same universally. God is love. Love is God. It's all the same. And the laws and the rules of God apply to all. Even if we don't realize that it applies to us, it applies to us, right? Gravity is not dependent on whether or not you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu, whether you black, whether you white, whether you skinny, whether you're fat, whatever you may be. That gravity don't care. Right? Walking on this earth, gravity does not care. Gravity is still going to make sure you are down on this earth, walking on this earth, unless you're in a plane or a hot air balloon or a helicopter or, on a bird's back or something, or however you get around in the air, right? Gravity works for all. There are scriptures that tell us that God reigns on the just and the unjust alike. And the just and the unjust would be those who are righteous or fair and live in justice, and those who do not. Those who have awakened to the fact that love is who we are at our core, that we are the word made flesh, all of us. That was the message that Christ Joshua wanted us to have, that we are the word made flesh. He identified himself because he knew that we could only identify for ourselves. He could not make the information be true for us. It's a faith walk. We are word made flesh. We are love made flesh. We are love incarnate. God is everything. So the laws and the rules of God are different than they are for each individual organization. Love makes room for all of those different things. Love makes room for all of the different interpretations and thoughts and processes, how we are learning God and understanding God. Love is the ultimate thing. And in love, there are certain universal laws and rules that work for each and every individual. All right. And because that is the case, we focus our attention on love. If that's why you're here. All right. And that is so that you can take some of the religious teachings and things that you had growing up, bring them into the basics or the deeper parts of things, right? The basic stuff that we did was, we had Sunday school and Bible school lessons and things like that. But the deeper things require for us to go within ourselves and find what's true for us. Find what God means to you, why it makes sense to you, how it's going to help you grow into the fullness of who you are. So here at Love Walk Outreach Global, we are really here to help you navigate your own path without making the decisions for you, right? For you to say, hey, this is how I feel about life. This is what I believe is true. This is what works for me. That's for you to do. That's for you to do as your unique expression, to figure it out, to find out, to live by faith, by discovering, by hearing something and it resonating with you and you saying, you know what, I think I need to walk in that direction. And so here at Love Walk Outreach Global, we're just here to be that support, that wait station of sort for those who need it. But while you are here, I'm asking that you actually try to apply the things that you gain every time you're here. This is the Love Walk Approach podcast, a podcast that is sponsored by Love Walk Outreach Global, where we actually just have the conversations to give you something to focus on, to apply to your life each and every time you show up. And then when we come back on Thursdays, we use our gifts of love to help you, assist you prophetically or with spiritual insight or offer you coaching if that's what you need. That's what we are here for. So when I give you this call of action, what I'm saying is, will you indeed begin to apply the things that you are learning here so that we can be about it and not just talk about it? Again, this is not a community where I'm trying to get you to convert to anything in particular. We are talking about the ultimate. We're just talking about God. We're talking about love. We're talking about all that is, and how you interpret that is going to be up to you. If you are here listening to me, then it may be that you're tired out on the religious conversations of what to do, what not to do, what's right, what's wrong, and you're trying to discover and explore that for yourself. And you need to come out from the chaos and the noise just to be able to find yourself. So when I give you these Love Walk call to actions, it's not going to be anything that I get to choose for you. It's something that you're going to have to dive into, study to show your own self-approve, really know that it resonates with you. You are finding yourself. See, over in the coaching community, I can walk you through step by step in your personal life and we can work it out. But here on this platform, we are giving a generalized call to all who want to walk this love walk out. And some people may be like, well, I don't know what to do. And I mean, I hear everybody saying I should walk in love, but these people really gonna hurt my nerves and yada yada. Yes, that's the reason why you're trying to become something different within your heart, so that you don't become the very thing that has agitated you, hurt you, and any of that. So we're going to use these love walk call to actions to actually start applying the walk. All right, the love walk. So this month we're focused on sowing seed of good. And I thought about this particular call to action because this gives people a space to, number one, again, explore for themselves who they are, what they believe in, why this particular cause is important for them. And it starts them to understanding how to apply the law of sowing and reaping, both in finance and in other ways. Because we can't take all the other stuff. Oh, well, I prayed for you. Oh, well, I did this and I did that. But you don't want to financially support anything, yet you're praying for God to financially see to your needs. And so we're learning the principle, right? God is just, he's fair. And so whatever you sow, you shall reap. Whatever you give, you shall receive. So the give and the sow comes first. The receive and the harvest comes after, the reaping comes after. And so we're learning here, right, within this community, this is our love walk approach, how to apply, how to really sit with what it is that we're doing, not battling with any other thought, but now it gives you something to focus on to start applying what you're being taught. All right. So when you look for this cause, you are looking for the thing that has some type of resonation with you, right? There are some people who choose to be a philanthropist for breast cancer or for cancer of all kinds, for AIDS, for for discrimination, for racism, for the hungry, for the homeless, for animals, for foster cares, for art programs. For me, I know that I am a creative. I'm an artist by nature, so I'm a poet. I write books. I use my words a lot to communicate and put them in a way that people can understand them and they can dissect them easily. So I like art. I love art. I'm an art person. I'm a music person. And so one of my causes would be music programs or art programs, because we listen to art programs or music programs would be one of my causes. Well, why? Because those are the things that we use in everyday life to entertain ourselves and to get a happy feeling. And we put artwork in our homes, and things like that because we want to beautify things, and we have flowers, and we do all the things to beautify. We watch movies, we listen to music, we want to look at the beautiful things. God is an artist, right? We look at all the beautiful things in this life and we see that these are the things that bring us happy feelings and all of that. So when programs for the arts are being shut down, that's almost offensive to me, because I too grew up trying to figure out, is it okay for me to be a creative? Is it okay for me to be the person that writes the books and all of that? Because those were the jobs that they kind of shunned a little bit. If you're not a doctor, lawyer, teacher, you're not working at a store or any of those things, you're not doing something where your paychecks come in regularly, then you're not doing a real job. Well, what happens when people take into consideration that, hey, if we actually pour into the arts in the way that, as much as we enjoy them, if we pour it back into it the same way that we enjoy it, if we give to it the same way that we enjoy it, then maybe, just maybe, it could be full-time jobs for people who do this, because that's their strength in the world. If we learn how to honor other people for their giftings, especially if you are benefiting from it. So that would be one of my causes. Something else would probably be foster cares and homeless shelters and things. I probably want to be a philanthropist in every area, if y'all want me to be honest, because I really do have a heart for all mankind. But there are certain things that may tug at you a little bit more than others. If you have lost a family member that was very dear to you to some type of illness, that may be the thing you want to see to. If you've ever been homeless, then maybe you want to give to the homeless community because you understand it, and some things you want to help to rectify. So I want you to really go into it. Sit down with yourself, y'all. Have y'all journals. Write down things that are really close to your heart. We got to change our focus from everything that is going wrong in our life, everything that we hate is happening, because we still don't understand yet that all things work together and every situation is so that you can build yourself and not so that you can, fall apart. Until we really understand that flow of life, we're going to feel burdened down by certain things. And until you get out of that place, then you need something to focus your attention on. So we are being transformed by the renewing of our mind when we come in here to have these conversations. Love does as love is. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering. It holds no account of wrongs. It's not puffed up. It doesn't seek its own, right? It sees to the needs of others. And so we want to make sure that we are in that vein. We're going to pour from our place of overflow if we're able. If not, then make the sacrifice. And it could be something as small as $5 per month. It could be $25 per month. It could be $1,000 per month. Whatever you can do to support them, do it with your whole heart. Maybe you feel like you don't have the finances, but you can sign up to register to be a volunteer once a week, or 3 times or 2 times a month or something. What can you do to support your cause? That should be your focus. Well, not should, but if you are here for this, then your focus should be on that. And for this entire month, you know, make the donation, or make the time donation, or whatever it is that you're going to do, but focus on researching it. Focus on, really diving into it to see your reason. What's your reason? One of my causes, to be honest with y'all, may be plant-based medicine. I want them to do more research on plant-based medicine so that I can do the thing that is natural while at the same time maintaining my mental equilibrium. As I'm being transformed by the renewing of my mind, I need to be able to apply the things that I'm learning in order for things to get better. Well, I believe that plant-based medicine is the answer for much of what some of us are going through. But because we have been indoctrinated with different things based on people's limited understandings, we start to look at stuff that God gave us as a natural means of healing and being, and we look at it as if it's something that's dark, something that's trying to take us out or kill us, right? We attach the demonism to everything. And we got to come out of that. We are being transformed by the renewing of our minds. And so if I was going to, I think that cause to look into more research on plant-based medicine, that would be something that I want to invest myself into. Right. And so find your cause. What is your cause? Now, if you have a spiritual community that you are connected with and you are dedicated to that, and they have causes that they sow into out of the tithe of what you give, then by all means, because that's what's happening here. We do receive tithe or offering from you guys if you are a Love Walk Vision partner, and then we take the tithe of that and we pour it into others that are already doing the Love Walk, right? Or wherever God tells us to put it. So if you don't know what cause right now and you just want to pour into the ministry and trust that we're going to put it someplace that is applicable in Love Walk Outreach Global, we want to pour into people who are doing things for the community as well. It may not be a personal project. Like for me, the plant-based medicine and the art schools and the music schools and all that, those are personal resonations. With Love Walk Outreach Global, we're gonna pour into those who are already doing the Great Commission, which is to bear the burdens of one another. That is the fulfillment of the law of Christ. Everything else, indoctrinations, right? So we want to pour into those communities. However you choose to do it, it's up to you. But I want you to really, really apply this to your life this month. If you're focused on the cause, if you're focused on researching your reason for it, why does it identify with you? Why does it resonate with you? It may be something that you're just drawn to and you don't have any association with it. So you think, well, maybe you are fulfilling something that your ancestors were trying to do. Remember, the scriptures will tell us that literally what they've sown in their time, maybe we are the ones that are producing the harvest for it. So whatever it is that you're drawn to, make sure that you do it from a heart perspective. One of the things I want to not warn against, but I want to caution you against is just choosing causes because it speaks to your trauma or your pain. Even in that, like if you have a trauma or a pain or something that happened to you in your past and you want to support the communities that are helping those that are doing that, make sure you still do the research and make sure you're not doing something to trauma bond yourself. You want to do it from a very pure place in your heart. If you have compassion or sympathy or whatever for different people, you can definitely sow into a cause for that. But just make sure it's not something that's trauma bonding you to it. You're not doing it because you're vexed at everybody else. Whatever you do it because it's what you stand for, not because it's what you're standing against. All right? Do what you're standing for. Do what you're standing for. In your heart and mind, you know what you're against. You know if you're against, certain things, but you don't need to focus on what you're against. You need to focus on what you are for. We're changing the dynamics of our thought process. In this love walk, your focus and your aim is on this Christ mind. Think in the way that the Christ mind has allowed. The Holy Spirit, how does it lead you? All right, so that's our call to action. You're going to choose your cause. You're going to support, and you're going to write it down too. Write it in your journal. Write down the information that you study. Don't do a halfway study. I know how some of us can get, because I definitely can get like that because my attention span is short. All right. So sometimes I need some stuff that is shorter to read. I don't need a whole long dissertation, right? Which is interesting because I could definitely talk a whole dissertation. But writing is a little different. It's a little different. So I know you may not want to go and read these long, big old Reader's Digest posts, but at least break it up. Again, this is for the month. It's okay if you, in the meantime, want to just say, hey, I'm sewing here. Do what you will with the tithe of it until I figure out my cause. But we're going to focus on that this week. Let me know if you got that in the comments. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying when it comes to this call to action. Let me know if you got it. Let me know if you got it. Hey, let me know. Hey, Christian. All right, y'all. So let's get into it really quickly. And I want to say, I will say really quickly, but y'all know that I will go as long as what God wants. We talked about love is, and we kind of talked about some of the characteristics of love from 1 Corinthians 13 last week. And I'm going to briefly just read over it so that we can have it in our minds. We know repetition is the thing that helps to create new habits. So 1 Corinthians 13 says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but I have not love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all of my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but I have not love, it profits me nothing. Now, before I go on, I want to emphasize this for you today, and I want us to really look at it because I was just saying it when it came to the call to action. The reason why Love Walk Outreach Global is here as a support system for those who are making their transitions in life, those who are kind of tired out on religion, but they do love God and they really want to better themselves in their heart. Y'all know, to me, self-development is spiritual development. I don't think you can have one without, I don't think that you can have spiritual development without self-development. But we are here so that we can apply things to our life, right? Well, these 4 verses right here emphasize the reason why. Because we have gifts, we have talents, we have abilities. And this right now, he's speaking to things that we do as far as spiritual giftings are concerned. And he's saying, look, I can do all of those things. I can do the spiritual gifting stuff. I can do my everyday work stuff, what I'm good at with my hands and all that. I can do all of that. But if I have not love, it profits me nothing. Like, there's no gain in it. And there's also, like, it doesn't give me anything. Like, what is it that happens if I'm using my giftings all the time, but I'm not loving people in the process? So even with the love walk call to action, I don't want you to just do it because, Apostle's saying we should do this. Because again, I'm here to help guide and to give spiritual guidance and things like that. But I can't make any decision for you. And I'm trying to show you, or even model it the best of my ability, that you need to make decisions for yourself. And in order for you to do that, like, again, if you want to be free, if you want to be healed, if you want everything to be going well in your life, then it's time for you to start researching and applying, right? Listening to the messages and then applying it to your life. You have to be the one to choose. But I don't want you to choose from a place of being robotic or just logical or analytical, because then you're going to miss it. I need you to learn how to embody these things. You're awakening the love self within. You're opening yourself up to what it means to live as love, for love in this earth. So I can speak with the tongues of men and the tongues of angels. In other words, I can speak my regular language, and I can also speak in unknown tongues or diverse tongues. But if I have not love, I'm just using the gifts. And we all have them. Everybody has gifts. Somebody might make you feel like pursuing everything with your gifts is the final answer, and you just need to go after it and go after it hard. You can do that. Be great. But if you're being great without love, if you're showing up and you're giving the best performance of your life, if you're showing up and you just performed the greatest surgical procedure of your life, if you're showing up and you just won 100 cases back to back as a lawyer, all of those things are well. You're a mom, you're a dad, you're a sibling, you're whatever you are. But what does it mean without love? I tell my team and have told them before, like, I don't mind people showing up. But showing up, showing your face is not the same for me as knowing that you're there because you truly believe in what I'm doing. You truly believe in the message I'm teaching. You truly believe in it. You truly believe in the mission. We can go forward when there are many people who believe in the vision, who believe in the mission of what I'm doing. But when people just show up just to show their face, yeah, those are the same people who behind the scenes and maybe texting other people, watching TV, doing other things to busy themselves, just got me playing in the background like it's not really relevant, because number one, I know I make people uncomfortable sometimes because I'm making people go within and look at themselves. That's not always comfortable because I'm telling people to focus more on who they want to be as opposed to where they've been and what happened to them. I understand. But just showing up without love, when love shows up, there's a purpose. I know when I have a car, like, I really, really can't wait till I have a car that is like road ready. Do y'all hear me? Because y'all gonna look up and find me somewhere everywhere, because I believe in rolling up and popping up on my peoples. And wherever God leads me to go, whatever God tells me to do, however I need to show up at any given time, I believe that's the appointed time. That's a part of my gift, a part of my assignment in this life. So I like rolling up on people, but when I do, I roll up with the purpose of knowing that I'm coming to give them something. I don't know what it's going to be. It may be that I need to hug everybody there, and it may seem like it's nothing to some people, but to some, like, yeah, I know y'all get it. I get what I'm saying. So when I show up with purpose. I show up because love says show up. Inside of myself, I feel a pull and a nudge to be at that particular place at that particular time. And there's no obstacle that comes. There's no hindrances that come that can make me feel like I'm not supposed to be at that destination. Now, when it's not necessarily love working and I just want to go somewhere and show up, I can detect the hindrance and I'm like, nope, maybe there's a reason why I shouldn't be going. But when I show up because I love you. And there's something that I'm supposed to give or sow or plant into your life at that particular time. So when I show up, I want to show up with my undivided attention. If I'm going through the motions and I'm feeling some type of way within myself, if emotionally and mentally I'm trying to deal with myself, I'm going to want to have to shake things off before I show up. And if I can't shake things off, you got to know that I'm just way overwhelmed because like if I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna try my best to show up with all my heart. If I can't show up with all my heart and I shrink back a little bit, it's not because I don't love, it's because I do. I don't want to pass on to you what may be going on with me. And so until I can deal with myself, I start loving on me from the inside out. Shalonda, why are you burdened? Shalonda, why are you vexed? Shalonda, why are you resentful? Shalonda, why do you feel this way? I love on myself. That's how you love on yourself. You ask yourself them hard questions. You face them and you change what you can change. And then you make peace with what you can't. And then when I show up again, I want to show up able to give whatever I have to give. Whether it's the change in my pocket, oh man, I can't wait till I can run around with money in my pocket so I can just give it out as God leads me to. See, my heart desires to be exactly what it is that God is asking us to be, and that is to be present for one another, not just present in faith, but present in love. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I felt like I needed to go there today because we're sitting here reading the scriptures, and we've been reading the scriptures, and not just the scriptures, but other books and sacred texts for self-building. And we see the words, and sometimes there are words that need to resonate in this season, and some won't resonate until a whole nother time in your life. But this one right here, we can't just keep reading it and hearing it and not really trying to embody it. So I can show up with all my giftings. I can show up at somebody's church and preach a good message and prophesy to everybody and do the deliverance part, because the gifts will work. If their faith is intact, your gifts gonna work. If your faith is intact, your gifts gonna work. But the love is different. See, I've heard a lot of prophets and apostles and teachers, and just the church period. Again, y'all, I've been in this my whole life. So when y'all hear me share testimonies, it's so that I can talk about the freedom and the liberty that I've come to know as love has healed me and as love is healing me. But I'm friends with a lot of prophets and teachers and apostles and pastors, and I've had conversations, heard conversations where, they just know they're gifted. And so they brag and they talk about their giftings all the time. But then I turn around and hear them say something about somebody that they just prophesied to or preached over or prayed for. And it's all negatives. And I never really could understand it. And there were times, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, where prophets and teachers have been in my face and they've talked, and they've been some little things, some hygiene things maybe that you don't really agree with. However, when love shows up even in those moments, it doesn't mock the person's thing. It sees the person for why they are there. What was the purpose? And if the purpose was for them to pray for me or to touch and agree with me for something that I need, then my focus shouldn't be on what's wrong with them. Well, when it comes to preaching and teaching and prophesying, yeah, if you're there to help deliver somebody or help set them free from the captivity that they're in, and your focus is on their size, their weight, the clothes they have on, the glasses they're wearing, the way their hair looks, and if you can talk about that after the fact, then you are now using your gifts without love. And so this speaks of that. The first 4 verses speak of that, and then it goes into what love is. And so verse 3, I can give all my stuff to the poor. So even as we have this call to action and you're about to choose your cause and everything, now this cause is something that you want to be dedicated to month after month after month after month, or quarterly, or however you choose to do it. So I'm asking you to do the research for real, to embody it, and to make sure that your love is present with whatever you choose to do. Even when you sow here, give here, you partner with us, I want your love to be in it, because you believe in the cause, you believe in the purpose, you believe in the vessel, because you want it to win and you want it to survive, not just so you can do a duty. think that's what he was talking about when he said, like, you're gonna say to me, I cast out devils in your name, I did all these things in your name. He gonna be like, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity. In other words, I need your heart to align with your works. It's not about the deed alone. We've heard this before. Oh, it's not about the deed, it's about the name of Jesus. No, it's not. No, it's not. The name of Jesus is there for you to glean from, to learn from, to understand the example from, to let the same mind be in you that was in him. But what he was trying to teach us is to show up with the heart. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, and teachers of religious law, they were doing their thing, and they were doing the law, and they were living according to the commandments. If you could say, well, do you do this and do you do that? And no, I've lived according to all the commandments. But as soon as Jesus would ask them something to do that had to do with a heart decision, people were grieved, because we get used to doing the duties, but our hearts are far away. I gotta do this. Y'all, I keep feeling this tug to do that. What that heart look like teaching on audio. I'm gonna have to get it done. But our hearts are far from love, far from God. He said, you come near to me with your lips, but your hearts are far from me. Love is saying that you come near to me with your lips. I hear you talking. I hear you talking. I even see you show up. But what's your heart talking about? What's your heart saying in your private thoughts? Are you ridiculing the situation? Are you trying to find a reason why, oh my God, here we go again? Or what you doing when you hear it? Immediately does your heart stand up and say, you know what? I believe in this, so let me show up with my 100% self. Love shows up different. That's the reason why it is different. It's the reason why it is the universal law, the universal religion, the universal everything. Because love encompasses everything. The discipline, the chastisement, life is going to do that. The principles are in place. They work. I don't have to do anything to you for the principles of life to work. So I need to focus on my heart and what it's doing. Because again, I can speak with the tongues of men. I can speak in tongues. I can prophesy. I can understand all the mysteries. Listen, God told me to research everything. Research all the different religions and faiths and practices and tools. That's how I started to understand that tarot cards and oral cards and other things, those are tools that people use in profession, because they work. God speaks through whatever he wants to speak through. But the practice of something can become so obsessive that it turns us dark. Some of us are walking around with so much darkness in our heart that we can't see God. We can't see how everything works together because our hearts are in such a bunch. And we prophesying and teaching and praying in tongues, and we hickamashaying, and we dressing the part, and we going to the services, and we doing the same thing every day, all the time, day in and day out, and we're showing up to the calendar and the schedule the way it's supposed to be, and our hearts are so far away from love, so far away from God. So I don't know whether he had me sidetracked to this, because the truth be told, even if I read love suffers long and is kind and it doesn't envy and it doesn't parade itself, and even when I get into all of these different things about what love is and what love is not, no matter how I explain those things, if your focus is not on transformation to a love character, if you're not focused on love being the center of who you are, awakening the God self, the love self within, if you're not here to really glorify God, meaning embracing all that God is, if you're not here to work towards that level of maturity, then nothing that I say to you in these other verses are going to matter or make sense. Because as soon as I say love suffers long, you're going to go in your head to how they did this and they did that to you, and I don't know if I can suffer like that through no relationships and all of that. So my question would be, and please don't get me wrong, I want you to be here if you want to be here, but what's the purpose of you being here during a love walk conversation if love walking ain't what you're aiming for? That's why church in and of itself, that's not it. Church is a tool. Church is something you do to go and grow and be in fellowship with people who agree with you, and y'all gather information to apply to your life so that you can fulfill the Great Commission. so that your mind can be changed and transitioned to the same mind that was in Christ Joshua and every other vessel of love who has presented themselves before him or after him. He says, come and learn of me because my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Let this mind be in you, which was also in him. He came to teach us and show us exactly who we were. And love is that. We are love incarnate, but if you're not here to awaken that, then nothing that I say is going to make a difference to you anyway. I don't know why God had me to go there today, because I had a whole go walk you through this prodigal son thing, which I still, will tap into it a little bit, but he has me stuck right here. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels. That goes into the fact that there are people who are well articulate. They can tell you stuff. They can break stuff down from A to Z. And what's interesting, can I be honest with y'all? And please don't take this the wrong way, but everything we're studying is somebody else's revelation. Everything that we're studying is somebody saying, oh, this came to me in a dream. Oh, God said this to me. Oh, this is something that, I feel like, I just saw this. It's all someone else's experience that we are drawing from. And so while they're so articulate and you can break down everything from the Old Testament to the New Testament, you know all about the Gnostic Gospels, and you know about the Ethiopian Bible, and you know about all the different texts, and you studied the commentaries, and you studied all of the different things, and you know the words in Hebrew and Greek, and you know Latin, and you know all of the different things. But if you have not love, it's just noise. I don't want to learn a language just to go into somebody's region so I can manipulate their lives and try to get what's beneficial for me and mine. Love has a different language. And love has been trying to speak. God has been trying to speak. God has been trying to let us know, hey, I need y'all to just glide through this. There's a system and it works if you let it work. If you choose to only sow when you want something in return, then only get what you expect. But when you're doing it because it's your nature, when you're doing it because it's the heart of you, you'll never be able to walk past a person that has a need and not at least wish you could do something to help. Not just at least drop a prayer of God, help them to see clearly to the next place in their life. And if they are here and homeless because it's a part of their destiny, allow me to understand that and have grace for them. And let me pray for their safety while they're out here. Because who am I to judge what another person says that you told them to do? I'm just here to love them. If you want me to feed them today, I'll feed them. If you want me to give them drink today, I'll give them drink. If you tell me not to do it, but just to have a conversation with them today because they're feeling lonely and they're missing the people in their families, and they're feeling some type of way about themselves and feeling like they're not enough. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? When you are speaking with all these different languages and you got all this criteria and you got all your degrees and you got all of it, you can break down everything. You got your theological degree, you got your doctorate, you got all these different things. But what are those same things saying truthfully about the heart of who you are? I really believe with my whole heart that that's the reason why the doctorate that I received, it has a different meaning to me. Blessings, Court. It has a different meaning to me than just me earning it through educational ways. It's not that I'm not smart or I don't know how to study, but I study at my own pace. Me finishing the Phoenix degree and my bachelor's in applied psychology was excellent. I did it. I'm grateful. But when I received that doctorate, that honorary doctorate, what that said to me is the love and the attention that you've been putting in to trying to help us to become better within ourselves without, listen, let me say this, without trying to pretend like you got it all together, because I don't. But when somebody honors you and says, this is what you did, and they're telling you that it is your love or your time, your attention, your teachings, your whatever that have brought me to this place, and I honor you for it, it has a whole different meaning to me. So I take it so seriously to wear the title. But I don't wear the title so that I can get somebody to pay me some attention. I've been trying to figure out how to brand for almost 20 years. And I still go through the motions. So I'm not trying to figure out how to brand myself with the title. It means something to me because even when I was frustrated, I still chose love over those frustrations. And even when I wanted to quit because there was no honor in what it is that I'm doing, I went back to where Jesus said a prophet is without honor amongst his own kin and within his own town. And so I took it in and I said, you know what, Shalonda, suck it up. It's okay. This is what you made to do. Go ahead and do it. Regardless of what somebody gives to you, you make sure that you give it all out because that's your harvest. It'll come at some other time. You just worry about the sowing. You just worry about the giving. But I don't need you to do it. I don't need you to do it because you're trying to be seen. Yep, you're a prophet. But I don't want you to do that either just because you're trying to be seen. Yes, you understand mysteries and you see different perspectives, but I don't need you to do that or even help people because you're trying to get something out of it alone. You can do all of what you do, but if love is not at the center, if you have not awakened the love self within you, if you have not said, okay, God, come alive in me. If you haven't said, God, you went like some of us are really going through it right now, and we're like, oh my God, why am I going through this? And it's because you asked, God, make me better, make me whole. And so you're going through the motions. But when you start to focus on this as a love thing, as a maturity thing, love, the ultimate maturity, right? Coming into the fullness of who you are, who God expressed you to be. But all of the gifts and talents and abilities, that's just a part of what it is. Everybody has them. But if you have not love, it profits you nothing. When we are so tied to everything else that we can watch other people suffer and struggle, then we got to go back and say, okay, am I a Christ follower, or am I just trying to figure out how to do the religious stuff every day so that I can stay in alignment, so that I don't break no rules, and I don't, if that's all you're looking at is trying to make sure you don't break the rules, then God is not going to be able to flow freely in your life, because love has no respecter of persons, and it will go wherever and do whatever for whoever. So you can have all the giftings. You can do this cause. You can find your cause, and you can do the donation every month or whatever. But if your heart is not in it, if your love is not in it, then what is the purpose? So you can check off the boxes. Can I be honest and say that's the reason why most of us are miserable in this life, because we're trying to check off the boxes? But we're not trying to go within ourselves and say, you know what? Let me awaken to this love thing. Love, first and foremost, didn't make no mistake with me. So let me embrace that part. Second of all, what is it about me that I really believe in, and I really trust, and I really love, and I really like? Maybe that's the place where I'm supposed to operate. Your giftings and stuff will make room for you, but love is what causes the overflow in your life for God to show up and say, you did that without expecting anything. Let me show up for you and show you how this really works. But just checking out the boxes, oh, I did this, I didn't do this, I made sure I did this, I was on time for this, I made sure that this happened, I made sure I paid this right, I made sure I did this right. And not to say that those things are not good, they are good. But when done in love, they're so much better. When done in love, there's a purpose. I guess that ties into our prodigal son story, and I'm gonna dig into it just a little bit, not much. Maybe that's what we're gonna get into next week on part 3. But verse 4 says, love suffers long and is kind. It does not envy. It does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. It does not behave rudely. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Thinks no evil. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But where all of this stuff, all of the prophecy and teachings and tongues and all of that knowledge, all of this stuff will cease, it will vanish. We only prophesy in part anyhow. But when that which is perfect has come, that which is in part is done away with. When love has come, when love is the center of our attention, when love is our focus, if everybody's focused on that ultimate maturity, that ultimate light called love, whatever path you are walking down, if you're focused on that picture, Yesha, God, I thank you. Yeah, it's so radiant in my sight right now. Please forgive me. Oh, it's such a beautiful light. It's such a beautiful light. And people are walking towards it. And whereas they will walk towards an illusion as if they're a zombie, everybody's just walking their path with joy and with peace and with smiles. And when there's devastation, they're picking each other up, but they're all walking towards this great light. We're walking towards that and we're doing it in unison, doing it as one. Then perfection has come. Perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with torment and punishment. And we were walking around here fearful of everything. The reason why some of y'all are fearful of sowing financial seed is because somebody was operating in their prophecy and their giftings and their talents without love. And because they were operating in it without love, knowing their gifts was this and that and the other, and yep, their gifts were dope and they worked, but love wasn't in it, and so therefore you were bruised. It's the reason why you have to make love your embodiment so that you don't in turn bruise somebody else. Come on, I know y'all hear me say it repeatedly, but you got to be the first partaker. So when love comes, it's perfect. Love is perfection. So we haven't arrived, but we're working towards it. When your heart is leaning towards love and awakening to love and maturing in love, that you're mindful about the things you say and you do to people. And even when you are vexed with people, you really want to do something and say something, that love within you starts battling with you. It's gentle, it's kind, it's long suffering with you. So it know you may still act out, but love is still there saying, you can respond differently. You know that if you respond like this, it's just going to escalate it and make it worse. What if it don't make you weak to not say something, it makes you wise. You don't have to throw your weight around or show that you're mighty or show that your gifting is better or show that this and that. No, love has a whole different tune. But what I thought was interesting is when it got to the point where it says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child and I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. In other words, what he's saying, and I think y'all hear me say this often, love is full maturity. So as a child, I don't fully, when you first born, you know all love. You know nothing but love. Because it's before you actually learned the things, that other people think and feel in this earthly realm. But you were pure love when you were put into that womb. You were love, came out love in the fullness. And then things started burying that. So you're now coming back alive to yourself. And so as you grow up as a child, you're seeing things through these eyes, and you may not use the best judgments. Then you get these ideas and these thoughts, and you start taking on this foolish mentality because you're trying to break free and see, and it's a lot of things going on. And then you have to mature all over again. I had a vision the other day where, as babies, we are the purest of the pure. Have nothing tainting us. We came directly from the spirit realm into the body. And then as we get older, we're heading back towards that same thing, to have the purity of love be what you're clothed in, be what you're understanding. Doesn't it kind of go like that with the way that we age? Somebody made a joke once and they was like, when you a baby, you have no teeth. When you old, you have no teeth. When you're a baby, you little. When you old, you start shrinking back into being a little bit little. And so we go through this full cycle, but we're trying to get back to the maturity that is love. We're going through and sorting through all this life stuff just to overcome it all and to be love incarnate. Put away childish things. the temper tantrums, the hissy fits because you didn't get your way, because something didn't happen the way you thought it would, because somebody didn't do it the way you thought they should. Listen, we all learn it. But these are the things that love is. And even when it seems like it doesn't make no sense, like, I can't believe that's the case. And how they gonna get this and how they gonna get that? And they should have to pay for this and they should be punished for this and all that. Those are childish thoughts. You can't. Here's the reason why you can't give to a cause or try to live this life out without love. Because as soon as you commit to this cause, and you see one little thing about that thing and it makes you feel some type of way, so you withdraw your support from them and you're never going to be that for them again. See, love wasn't in that, because if it was, then love immediately would have had you stop and pause, find out what it is that may be going on with them. Are they in a deficit? Did something happen in their families? All the stuff that we know that happens with us, they happen with other people too. Do we stop and actually think about it? Do we pray and ask God how we can be of support now? Now, if you sewn into something and you find out it's a scheme and it's taken from people or whatever the case might be, and you know that it's true, then still pray for them and you can withdraw your support or whatever. But when you just see something in the news and all of a sudden you change your position, that means love wasn't in it. It was just you temporarily doing something. Love responds different. It has a different way of doing things. It suffers long. It understands the levels of maturity. So it doesn't get mad about anything. Let's get into this thing real quick before we go. Let's get into this thing before we go. What I don't do this week, I'll get into it next week. But this is the prodigal son story, and we have heard it. One calls it the prodigal son, another calls it the parable of the lost son. And they got those words from the father at the end when he said, my son who was once lost or dead is now alive. He's found. And so I taught this story before, really walking through it little by little so that we can see the different perspectives. But I want you to focus with me on 11 and 12 first. We're in Luke 15, verses 11 through 32. Verse 11 says, to illustrate the point further, Jesus told them this story. A man had two sons. The younger told his father, I want my share of your estate now before you die. So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. And let me go ahead and say this. When I'm looking at different translations of the Bible, of course, they are translations, meaning that people have translated or interpreted them based on their understanding of the scriptures. And over in the Amplified, there's a particular, bracket that says, it says, then he said, a certain man had two sons. The younger of them, in brackets, it says, inappropriately said to his father. But I don't want to focus on that part. I want to say that sometimes we interpret things basically just the way we understand them. But the son did not inappropriately ask the father for anything. He just simply asked. And in order for not to add or take anything away in this moment, I want you to look at this from the perspective of a child that knows that they have something coming to them, and they have this adventure they want to go on, or they want to start this business, or they want to do something out there, and they just want to explore it, and they want to go live it out for themselves. And they come and they're like, Father, I want my money. Can I get my portion of your estate? Like, I don't want to wait till you die. I want it now. Some people may find that inappropriate, but the truth be told, the son was just saying the truth of what he felt. But here's the part where I want you to focus on, because later on down, we see that the elder son stayed and he didn't go and he didn't do that. But this says that he divided it amongst his sons, his wealth, against his sons, between his sons, which means they both got their inheritance. They both got their inheritance. And here's where free will comes in when it comes to love. Now, the Father in this story, we're going to see as God, as love. And here's where free will comes in when it comes to love. The Son came and asked. He didn't just give it to that son. He gave it to both. He was fair. He was just. If I'm going to give you your inheritance, I'm going to go ahead and give this to your elder brother as well. He divided his wealth amongst his sons, and they had the freedom to do what they chose. You don't see in verse 13 where the son tried to leave and the father was like, no, don't do it, don't go. It says a few days later, this younger son packed all of his belongings and moved to a distant land. And then it spoke about what he did with his inheritance. And then he wasted all his money on while living. In other words, he was out there, he was living. You did not see where it condemned him from going out there and living. What it said was that he wasted. In other words, he was in this far off distant land, living his life, trying to learn himself, trying to figure out what he wanted to do. And he was wasteful. Why? Because he still had foolishness within him. He still had a lack of maturity. He still had a lack of maturity as to how to handle the things that he was given so that he would not run out too soon. Most of the time when this story is taught and spoken about, it's such a negative connotation to it, as if everybody in some way, shape, or form have not had the option to actually go and live and explore their lives. We all pray for it. We all desire to go and find our way. So he didn't do anything wrong by asking. The Father, in his love and in the giving of free will, gave it equally, righteously to both. Love is always just. Love is always fair. Love lets you choose. And I'm going to sum this up today, but we'll probably get more into it next week on the next part. But here is when I talked about what love is, and we talked about patience and kindness and long suffering and not being provoked, and love holds no account of wrongs and all these different things. I want you to focus on what love is, and I want you to then understand what love does. Love does free will, because love is all of those things. Love lets us choose. Now, as we experience the hell that we experience within ourselves, we get to choose whether or not we're going to stay in a particular hell or whether we're going to remove ourselves from that hell. That's life, that's learning, that's maturity, that's growth. So he did. He went off to a distant land. He went to go discover himself, find out what he really wanted to do. And he wasted his inheritance. He wasted it because he was not, that's that recklessness, right? That impulsiveness. Come on, we describing ourselves when we talk about him sometimes. And some of us is describing ourselves when we talk about the elder brother. We're going to talk about him too. But we've all lived through life trying to explore and doing what we think we big and bad enough to do. We get tired of the restrictions and all of that stuff. So we go to the other extreme and we have no self-control. We just kind of do it. Well, in that decision, life now becomes the teacher. God love his daddy didn't have to call up nobody or send no pigeon mail to nobody and say, hey, look out for my son. If he do this, make sure you make him feel it. He didn't do all that. He gave the son the freedom to go. He gave him the freedom to go live and make his own choices, because love understands that anything that's forced ain't real. It's not faith. It's not love. Even if I got to watch you fall into the ditch, if you ask me if you can go out and run, and I've already, because pretty much if the father grew up devout and he taught him the way of love or whatever the case might be, the son knew some things, but he needed to go out and live it so that it would be faith that drew him into the understanding and not force. How do I know? Because when you go down a little further and it talks about him wasting it, he went and he connected himself to somebody in the land to work for. And again, he was treated some type of way out there. This is what I mean when I say that all things work together for good, because had the people hired him on and made his life lavish, then hey, that would have been the end of the lesson. But because they sent him out there to tend to the hogs, He found himself about to eat out of the pig trough. And at that moment it said, and then he came to himself. He came to understand himself. He came to understand his unique expression. He came to understand what he no longer wanted. And so then he began to think about what he now did want. So once you come to yourself, listen, love still, you ain't see love come there and try to rescue him. And that's a tough thing, because we think of love as coming to rescue and not abandoning and not rejecting and not making people feel like they're alone and all of that. But that's not really love in itself, because love understands that that person has to experience life for themselves in order for life to make sense. Even if that means they make all of the decisions that we think are wrong. We have to allow it, because we are not responsible for their decisions. Only we are responsible for ours. And so he needed the experience. And when he was eating out there about to eat this thing, he's like, wait a minute. My father has servants too. All right, he's back at this love place where the father is, where love is. Love don't treat its servants wrong. How do I know? Because he said it in his message to himself. How many of my father's servants do better than this? They eating well where love is. They serving their role and serving their purpose, and they're eating well because of it. And I'm out here living like this. Oh, I don't have to. Let me go and present myself back to my father. And he went into rehearsing all of what he did and didn't do and all of those different things. And we're going to get into the rest of it next week. But there was this conversation he had to himself when he came to himself. He came to the realization that this is not good for me. But life had to happen in order for him to come to that conclusion. Love did not stop life from happening for him. Love gave him free will. And he learned within his own time. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love it doesn't hold no account of wrong, and we're going to get into that when we talk about it next week. How he got up and he went to his father, and the way his father greeted him, it would let you know his daddy wasn't holding no grudges, had no problem with it. He didn't have no problem with it when he gave him the inheritance. He wasn't moved. He wasn't mad. He wasn't angry. It was love. Love don't feel about things the way we do. We are the ones that have a problem with controlling our emotions. Love knows how to control its emotions. It's love. It's God. So we tap in and we begin to see things from a different perspective. Now, when we talk next week, I'm going to get into the eldest brother's response and where our judgmentalism, it kind of comes in at this point. But it's not going to be for ridicule purposes. It's just we pointing out the things within our heart that need to be cleansed. The younger son was zealous. He was reckless in his decisions because he just wanted to go and explore and live. But even in that recklessness, you do not see the father condemning him for making his own life choices. He let life teach. Love lets life teach. Love is neutral. Again, the universal laws, the God laws, they work for everybody. So God just lets it be. Love just lets it be, and love lets you find your way home. Love lets you find your way home because love is patient, because it bears all things, because it understands all things, because it never fails. Love allows. And when you need to come back because you finally learned a lesson, love is waiting for you to acknowledge it. I want you to sit with this today and go back and listen to this hour's broadcast. And please make sure you share it with others if you found anything in what I've said to be beneficial. But we're moving forward in this love walk. We're discovering the truth and the fullness of who we are so we can stand up in this world and play our part and play our role because we enjoy it, because we identify with it, because it's who God made us to be, and we're free and we're happy and we're not living in the stings of the hellish situations and things that we feel like we gotta do in order to please or to be pleasing to God. It's faith that pleases God. Faith through love. So can we put our focus on that? Can we start going within, asking ourselves the question, hey, why am I here in this distant land? Looking at this pig slop like I gotta eat this because I don't have anything else on my own. You're at the place right now where you've already identified that, hey, yeah, I did some things. It wasn't the most mature thing to do. But here is the most mature decision that I can make. Here's the most mature thing I can say at this point in my life. What am I doing here in this place? There's a better option. I can go back to my Father's house where love is present and I'm not judged and I'm not ridiculed and I'm not treated unfairly. I can go back. And see, he rehearsed this long conversation with himself as to what he would say to the Father, what he would say to love. And you'll see when we talk next week, love didn't care. Love was just happy that you came to yourself. Right now in this moment, love is just happy. If you come to yourself, come to the awareness of who you are. Do you know what you have access to? You come into the place of maturity because you lived life, you did your thing, and you found some very good things, some good lessons, some good people. But you're going through hell within yourself right now, and you're coming to the realization that I don't have to live in this hell. I don't have to live in this place. So he went within himself. It said, and then he came to himself. In other words, that was an inner awakening. I don't have to live this way. He saw the servants at his father's house being treated well, eating well. He began to remind himself of what was at home, what was with love. So if you come to yourself today, you're going to start throwing away some of the blame, the shame, the guilt, trying to figure out where to point fingers. Put your arms down, put your finger down. Put your finger down, stop pointing. Stop pointing and just sit with yourself for a minute. We're going to just breathe. I hope you have your journals with you because I'm going to talk. When I'm flowing, I'm flowing. So you can pick up for yourself what you need. If you have any resistance to yielding to this love conversation, and maybe that's where you have to start today. Whoever has that pain, tightness in their chest, breathe. The anxiety that just built up really quickly. You may not even notice it, but check your body right now. Do you feel tense? Do you feel like you've been holding your breath? Do you feel like your head has some tension, your neck, your shoulders? The tightness, the pain that you may be feeling some places because you're probably holding your body tight. It's almost like how we sit and we're waiting for the impact. Sometimes when we're listening to something, especially if we're really invested in listening to it, we can start getting a little bit tense, especially if the words are something that's working on our hearts, because that's work happening. You're exercising something, you're moving something. So you could very well feel it in your body. So come on, we're just going to breathe. Just breathe normally. Close your eyes if you will. I may talk with a lot of passion, but it's all love, I'm telling you. That's just my tone. It's just my energy. I'm not here to force anything on you. I really, really want you to choose for yourself. But of course, I have to do what I'm here to do. And that is give you the information, give you the messages. I'm doing the same thing that y'all are doing, y'all. I'm coming into the fullness of who I am, and that takes accepting that love just simply accepts me. Love knows exactly who I am because love is the expresser of who I am. God is experiencing life in his and as all of us in everything. With just a portion of it. So go ahead and release that tension and that stress off of your back. You don't have to fill every role. You don't have to fill every role. So release that tension off your back. The struggle is that we're contending against who we are and who we think is acceptable for us to be. And so it's causing problems within your mind, your emotions, your body. So then your reactions to other people comes off harsh or cold. And it's because you're not being your true self. You can be your true self and still see how love fits in there. Not well, you can be love and then figure out how yourself falls into there. Believe me, love has a reason for you, a purpose. Keep breathing. Love does free will, but love does grace and kindness, understanding. Love sends knowledge because we perish without the knowledge. That's what happened with the son. He perished what he had because he had no knowledge and he didn't manage it well. But he wasn't in error or in sin for living his life. The sin was in not having faith enough to believe that everything could work at the time or to put his money into something that could work, having faith to believe it would grow. And he just didn't have the knowledge. So he perished for a minute and then he came to himself. Some people, and I'll say this next week, but some people, they perish because they won't live. They perish because they won't live. The laws of that time were just to govern the heart. Don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery, don't do things to other people that are going to hurt them. Don't worship another God over the one you have. God is already everything. But to think about worshiping another God over another one, the only thing that you're doing, worshiping something over the original God, is when we start separating everything into different things instead of just understanding that God is all. We put another God before him when we actually think that God is separate, as opposed to the fact that God is just all things. Y'all keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. All is well. We are being transformed by the renewing of our minds. What you thought about yourself before, come to yourself today. There's no sorrow in the blessing. So if you have sorrow, then there's something that maybe, just maybe, you haven't caught on to yet. And it's all happening within. For the kingdom of God, the kingdom of love, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of spirit, kingdom of source. The kingdom of God is within. And only you can change your mind. So the fear that's keeping you from really changing your mind, really allowing your affirmations and your declarations and the different things that you want to do in your life, instead of allowing those to be more pronounced, you still wrestle with what is and what's not. You're at war with yourself. Declare peace. Declare that I am peace. I am peace within and without. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. If you want to continue to go in the circles, you're going to continue to go in the cycles. But when you want to stop them, love is there. When you come to yourself. Because until you come to yourself, every other action that you make is going to be simply because you don't want to be in trouble, you don't want to be devastated, or you don't want that outcome. But when you come to yourself, it's a whole different situation, because now you're doing it because you really believe that there's something better for me. There's something better for me. And I don't have to live in the same old ways because that's the norm when everything in me is pushing against it. You go within yourself, you do what you have to do within yourself. And if you need assistance, it's okay to get that assistance. But are you doing it because you want to be whole? Or just because you're going through the motions and you're just tired of being in this situation? If he only did that, went back to his father because he was just tired of the situation. I just don't want to do this, so let me go and manipulate my father and try to get back in the door. But no, it shows that he had a very real awakening. And yes, it was because of the circumstances at the time, but his heart changed. Transformation began to happen because he came to a realization. He came to a realization. And even in that moment, yep, he still had free will. So he could have chose to just go back to manipulate the situation until he got more money and then left back out again. Or he could have really came to himself, changed his way, understood love in a different way, and begin to lean into it. Take a deep breath in and hold it in gratitude. When you release this deep breath, do it with a sigh of relief. And really, if you want to be free, it's some participation you got to do. It just can't be that you're expecting someone else to come and do it for you, because that is not how it works. It's according to your faith. Be it unto you. It's according to your faith that the mountain can be moved. We're just here to be in agreement. Spiritual teachers, leaders, guides, and things like that, coaches and therapists and counselors and all that. We're just here to help. But you have to decide. Take that deep breath in. I am peace. I am peace. To all of you who are Love Walk Vision partners today, if you're a Love Walk Vision partner financially, you give financially. I want to declare a blessing over your life today. If you want to get in on this, if you want to sow your vision partner seed or give a love offering during the midst of this declaration, would be a good time. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to do that. And I want to call to your attention again this Love Walk call to action. Research your cause. Really start with going within yourself and seeing what pulls at your heart, what tugs at you. Not so that you're overly emotional about it, because being overly emotional about it ain't going to change their situation. But it's when you get in there with love, you're just going to see how you can lend yourself. So do that, do the research, make it real. And the day that you realize it, the day that you begin to feel it, that this is a thing that you're going to commit to supporting, I want you to write about it. I want you to post about it and tag me. You don't have to say that I said anything. Just tag me so I can see it. What you're giving to promoting and why. I want to see your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Love walk. Oh, hashtag love walk call to action. Love walk call to action. The love walk call to action. The love walk call to action. And just state your why. This is why this means something to me. It's the reason why I'm pouring into it. I want to declare. I want to declare over your lives today. Those of you who have decided, I believe in the vision, I believe in the vessel, and I want to pour into this because I want it to grow and expand, and it's benefited me. You go and you sow into places because it's something that benefits you. It helped you. It definitely made your life easier in some way. You want to honor it. But I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you who decides to pour into this, into my life, into my livelihood, so that I can continue to do what it is that I'm called to do. Next month is going to be a big month for me. Our Destiny, her birthday is next month. I'll be out of town during that time, but October is going to be a healing month for me, where I get to go and kind of just be ministered to. And it makes sense because God, he gave the message that, this was the completion of some things for some people, and the ministering angels are coming. And so it makes sense to me that that's what, my life is being led into. I definitely am believing God for all provision to be able to do that. Plane tickets, bus tickets, however I'm going to get around. I'm thankful in advance for what God is going to do. So keep me in your prayers. I will still, well, I don't know. I don't know what October is going to bring. I don't know whether that's going to be the month where we take a break and I come back in November or whatever. I don't know how that's going to work, but I will let y'all know. Thank you, Destiny. But we're all on a journey. And you got to do what you need to do for yourself along this journey. Tap in when you need to tap in. But for those of you who continuously show up as Love Walk Vision partners, as a supporter of this vessel, I am absolutely 100% grateful for everything. No matter how big or small you think it all is big to me. It all matters. And so I want to speak the blessing of the Lord over your lives. And I want to declare that each and every individual who joins with this cause, with this purpose, with this movement, with this time of growth and expansion within ourselves, those who have thought it not robbery to pour into this in a financial way, who have shared, who have committed themselves to saying, I believe in the message and I want to share it, I want to spread it. I pray, Father, that even now in this moment that you are bringing good news to their doors, to their phones, through text message or phone call, through a knock at the door, through a letter in the mail. There's good news. I declare that there is good news. There's good news. There's good news. There's good news. There are benefits. There are judgments being made and benefits being given. There are things moving on your behalf. Because even as this season of testing is coming to a completion for me, I want to declare that even over your lives, there is a moment coming where you will know that this time of testing is over for you. You will breathe a sigh of relief that is so deep You almost may want to laugh. It may feel a little bit hilarious when you take that deep breath and you breathe it out and you just start laughing because you're like, oh my God, like I made it through that. It'll be almost like you're running through this maze and then you finally get on the other side where there's no threats, there's no darkness, there's no nothing, and you are there. And at that place is when your team will gather around you and begin to minister to you and give you water and give you what you need and wipe your eyebrows because the race has been pretty tough, but you made it. And so that sigh of relief with that laughter, that hysterical laughter, almost like people might look at you and be like, what is wrong with you? But they don't know what you've overcome. And this next level of maturity for your life, this next place that you are going into is going to be easy. Some things are just going to be easier. I declare that you are not callous and cold from these experiences. I declare that you are not left rejected and dejected and abandoned. You won't feel any of those things. You will understand everything in your life up until this point for what it was meant to be. You are no longer going to be grieved by the past. You'll feel an innate peace and liberation come over you. You will not be threatened or frightened by it because you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know to fill those empty spaces, spaces that were once filled with agony and pain and issues and trauma. You're going to fill those spaces with joyful things. You're going to fill those spaces with the things that you want to explore and things you want to do. You're not going to fight with yourself about whether or not you're doing the right thing because love is going to be at the center of your heart. You're awakening to love. Your decisions will be guided. So you won't be living in regret or fear or shame. To every Love Walk Vision partner, I declare that you are blessed beyond measure. I declare that everything concerning you is well. You'll even have the peace of mind to let other people live their lives, and you won't feel as stressed as you used to because you're going to see it from a different perspective. You're going to be able to make your decisions and set the boundaries that you need to set without venom, without fussing or pain or agony. You're going to pray for and bless those in this season who have been your enemies or who have despitefully used you in their areas of immaturity. You're not going to judge it. You're going to forgive it, release it, let it go. They're going to have to live through their own experiences. The laws of God work for all. But your heart should always pray for what is best for others. As today I am praying what is best for you. And I seal this prayer. I declare that it is so, and so it is. Amen. And hallelujah. And I love you back, Destiny. Thank you for joining me today on the Love Walk Approach. Y'all know we're here for spiritual growth and learning and unfolding, and I'm walking this out with you. I pray that you feel the love of God when you come in this space, and that this word of mouth that will begin to spread this message. You know, if you go and you're looking at this clip on replay, you can create a clip, a certain portion of the message that resonated with you most, and it'll let you clip it and it'll let you share it. So let's do what we can to build the community. Love Walk Outreach Global Community is where we just come in and weigh in and we just get some teaching, some lessons. We start applying some things to our life. We come to feel supported and for somebody to understand, but we also come for introspection. We are here for introspection so that we can heal all that is broken. If you need to go further in this work, you need not just a talk, but you need the actual work, then go over to the Inspirational Treasure site where we offer coaching, group coaching programs, personal coaching, and spiritual insight sessions. So if you need spiritual advisory session, that's where you will go. Here we want to give you what you need to apply for the week, for the month. But if you know that there's inner work that you have to do that goes deeper, then make sure you book your sessions over on that side of things. All right. I love you so much just because I can. And I will talk to you again soon. Don't forget Thursday night at 8:28 p.m. Eastern time. We are on for the Love Walk Chat and Prophetic Flow time. And then we'll be back next Sunday at 4:21 p.m. Eastern Time for the next episode of the Love Walk Approach. If you would like to be a sponsor with us, a Love Walk Vision partner with us, please make sure you go over to coffee.com/Love Walk Outreach Global. And if you are needing the Spirit Solistic coaching, you go to coffee.com/inspirational treasure. All right, many blessings.